Welcome to, now we have a name for this thing. Politics of the Empire, presented by the Empire Media. Second episode here. Our last episode was the Politics Show without a name, and now we actually have a name and a graphic and a logo and everything. And essentially, you know, this episode is going to be a couple weeks later than we wanted it to be because, you know, I got sick, and now Josh is taking one for the team and podcasting sick with us here tonight.
I'll live.
I was at the point where I actually couldn't speak, so that was a whole different thing. But anyway,
I'm proud of you, man.
Yeah.
You went on and you didn't screw up and say the majors because
I didn't do that last time, did I?
No, but I did it a couple weeks ago. Because I never bring it. You know, I never start the shows on Tuesday nights.
Yeah.
So good for you. I'm proud of you.
Anyway, so this is Politics of the Empire. We're going to go around the table. We got Josh on my right, Adam on my left. I am Dorf, or, well, my name's also Adam. But to avoid the confusion, we'll go by a shortened last name of mine. This episode, so we kind of alluded to our goal. What we wanted to do is kind of introduce us to you guys, you guys politically. Kind of where we stand. So this we'll kind of use this as our basis and our building ground for everything we want to do into the future with this show here. So we're going to take what's called the 8 values test. You can find this test at 8 values. Just put it in a search bar or 8values.github.io. It is a 70 question quiz. So we are going to hustle through this and attempt to try and get it done in about an hour.
I think we can.
We're going to attempt to. That's the hope. And so you can kind of understand where we kind of fall politically. So this does not spit out an answer with the old-fashioned, coordinate system or just the line graph. This comes out with 8 line graphs, and at the end it shows you where you line up on a left-right spectrum on each one of them. Not politically left, politically right necessarily. And then we'll give you essentially a title or a tag at the end. I have taken this a while ago. Neither of these two have taken this at all, so this is going to be fresh for them. I would encourage you, if you want to listen and take this along with us, you can do that if you're catching us on the replay or live. So once again, that is the 8 values test. It is all in the same order. So we're going to get right into it. Adam, you got yours up and ready to go?
Hold on.
I know Josh does.
I do.
But you're trying to run your everything off the one computer, so I understand.
And you're when you were talking about the graph earlier, for anyone listening that isn't familiar with that, the old-fashioned graph is just the...
It was a 20 by 20 coordinate system.
Right. But the upper left being populist, the lower right being libertarian, and the upper right being conservative, and the lower left being liberal, is typically the basis of how... Or
you could even qualify the the left right is the x-axis, and the libertarian authoritarian is the y-axis there. You could even classify it that way. That's not what this is going to spit out. So if that's what you're looking for, this is going to be fun. So you ready to go?
I was trying to explain it without all that math jargon that people don't understand. And when I say people, I mean me.
All right. So first question. So we're going to answer these, and we're not going to debate the answers necessarily. We're going to each make our selection out loud and give it like a 1-sentence explanation on why we are choosing this. To try and keep it brief.
That's good, because Josh's answer to all of them would be the government shouldn't be involved in it.
Yeah, that's not an option. If that was an option, this would only need to be a 1-question test.
All right, first question. Oppression by corporations is more of a concern than oppression by governments. For this, we're just going to go, Josh, you're going to go first, Adam second. I will finish it up and then introduce the next question. So, Josh, you're up.
I disagree. This, I promised I wasn't going to say
neutral. Oh, yeah, sorry. This is going to be it's on the strongly agree, neutral, disagree, or strongly disagree scale. So that's how this works.
And I'm vowing I'm not going to say neutral on any of them. That's just me. I'm not saying, we didn't make that rule. I'm not going to say neutral on any of them. I'm going to take a stance. I kind of want to say neutral on this one, to be honest with you. But I'm going to disagree. I don't like oppression at all, but government oppression means that it's, that it's verified. So I don't like it.
Okay, Adam, what about you?
Agree.
Okay, no explanation.
No, we got 70 questions,
All
man.
right. So I'm going to actually agree with Josh here. I'm going to hit disagree as well. Governments are compulsory. Corporations are not. Next question. It is necessary for the government to intervene in the economy to protect consumers. Josh.
Mine's not working.
Uh-oh.
What did I do?
Use just the left.
Oh, did I? I might have hit it and not realized.
Oh, you have been.
I have been. Okay, I didn't realize that it went ahead on me. All right. Start with you guys. I'll get
Okay,
this
so
back
Adam,
where it's
go ahead.
supposed to be.
Agree.
Okay. I'm gonna have to say, damn it. I'm gonna have to actually say agree here, and I'm uncomfortable saying that. Let's put it that way.
You commie.
I guess so.
Mine's a little freezing up on me a little
Just
bit.
use the. Sorry, it's my computer.
Yeah, I was supposed to bring a computer today, and I didn't. So
So I've got my
using
beast of a
Dorf's.
work laptop. Your other just refresh it entirely and start over. We're only one question
Okay.
in.
All right.
Well, since we have time, why are you so hesitant?
I hate to make the suggestion. I'm kind of this perspective. The worst thing you can hear in any situation is, "We're from the government. We're here to help." Governments are terrible at necessarily managing problems on a macro perspective.
Mhm.
The last thing they need to do is have the confidence or the expectation or the thought that they have any idea how to manipulate and pull the strings of an economy. Because, historically speaking, anytime it's been tried, it's horribly fucked up.
You all set there, Josh?
Almost.
There you go. Almost there. Just use the trackpad if that thing's giving you trouble.
Yeah, I'm.
Josh is new to technology.
I am. I'm like.
Okay,
Dr.
so all right, you're to the next question. So what do you got here? Here, I'm going to give him some text.
It is necessary for the government to intervene in the economy to protest consumers. Oh, thanks, dog. That's You just Dorf just did me a serious solid. He just came over and yeah. All right, thanks, Dorf. You the man.
You're welcome.
So where are we at, Josh?
Okay, I strongly disagree.
Okay.
All right, next question. The freer the markets, the freer the people. Josh,
is
we're
gonna
kick
put
it
on
right
this.
back to you.
I don't like the absolutism of this, so I'm going to agree instead of strongly agree.
God, you are such a Jedi, man.
But
All right, Adam, what's your answer?
Strongly disagree.
Okay, and I'm gonna go actually strongly agree here. Next question.
Sith.
Hey, man, it gets back to my answer for the last one. The last thing that I'd really think is a good idea is to we're here from the government. We're here to help. Next question. Question 4: Is it better to maintain a balanced budget than ensure welfare for all citizens? It is better to maintain a balanced budget rather than ensure welfare for all citizens. Josh.
I read this question as blah blah blah. Statist thing A is better than statist thing B. I'll disagree. Just regular old disagree.
Okay, Adam. What about you?
Strongly disagree.
Okay, so balanced budget is not better than welfare for all citizens. I'm gonna actually be neutral here. I can see both sides.
Sissy.
I know. I'm gonna be like our buddy who usually when we do sports shows that sits in this seat is the captain fence sitter.
Is that the fence sitting seat?
I am gonna sit on the fence on this one, and go neutral, unsure.
All right.
Next, publicly funded research is more beneficial to the people than leaving it to the market.
Do you want me to go?
If you got one, go.
Strongly
thinking.
agree.
I'm gonna actually say disagree here. Markets have consistently the public, non-public, the private market, the profit motive has consistently produced better results across the board. However, if profit motive is the only motive, then things that aren't profitable will never be researched. So that's why I'm going to say just disagree instead of strongly disagree.
I'm gonna rock the strongly disagree on this one.
Okay. Next, international trade is beneficial. Define beneficial how you will.
I don't want if the statement read international trade is never beneficial, I would disagree with it.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, I will agree. But sometimes it is, sometimes it's not.
Hey, Adam, what about you?
I'm going to agree.
Keeps costs down if you are trading internationally. Yet, I'm not going strongly agreeing because if you do all of your
It also adds consumers for your products.
Exactly, and I don't want to put people out of jobs, obviously, in the United States or whatever country you're from.
From this perspective, from me, I'm going to sit on the fence again because international trade is great on the macro, not great for the micro. It's not great for the individual. It's great for the collective.
God, you Sean.
Yeah.
Hey. That's a nuanced fence-sitting position. It's not just I don't know.
He's up on top of the fence dancing now.
Yeah, yeah.
He's cutting a jig.
Is your
up
crotch
on the fence.
All right.
It's like he keeps making these moves. You think he's gonna fall, but he stays right up there.
From the next question, ripped straight out of the One Wise Worlds of, I believe, Karl Marx. From each according to his ability, each according to his needs.
I'm going to lean back in my chair and I'm going to try to hit the strongly disagree mark with some projectile vomit, if that works for you guys.
Okay, Adam, what about you?
Strongly agree.
I'm going to go actually strongly disagree as well. Communist propaganda bullshit.
Yeah.
Next question. It would be best if social programs were abolished in favor of private charity.
Strongly agree.
Okay, Adam, what about you?
Strongly disagree.
God damn it, I'm going to sit on the fucking fence again. God. Once again, it gets back to the...
You don't care about people. That's you're not sure if you care about people. That's fine. Go ahead.
No, I'm just not sure that, once again, we're from the government. We're here to help. Government is almost always never the most efficient distributor of things. Markets are this market solution to social problems essentially is private charity, or let's call it economic problems as private charity.
Churches,
and it is more efficient at distributing resources than government. So I'm going to modify my answer. I'm going to go agree.
All right.
Next, taxes should be increased on the rich to provide for the poor. I know Josh's answer.
If this read, I would hit agree. If this
statist pigs.
If this read, do you think stealing is bad? I would say agree. And since taxation is theft, always, then taxes, of course, should not be increased on. Actually, I don't need the rest of the sentence. Strongly disagree.
What about you, Adam?
Strongly agree.
Okay, fucking commie. I'm gonna go disagree here. Mostly because of the vagueness of the question. Taxes are too high on everybody, and I don't need to increase it on anybody. Once again, private solutions are more efficient than government solutions. Next, inheritance is a legitimate form of wealth.
Anything is a legitimate form of wealth. Am I being detained? Strongly agree.
I'm not going to be as strong as I was before. I'm just going to go disagree.
I'm going to go strongly agree here. You statist pig, it is not your property to expropriate. Public.
I wonder where this is headed.
Public utilities like roads and electricity should be publicly owned.
You want me to go first?
Sure.
Strongly agree.
You know what? I'm going to throw you guys for a loop here.
Uh-oh.
Believe it or not. Listen, because of my vow to not say neutral on anything, please keep that in mind. But I'm going to say agree.
Uh-oh, is this where Josh and I start coming together?
No, simply because if the utilities and the roads were built by the public, then I guess the public should own them. So, yeah, they're not saying... It doesn't say the public should...
Own private utilities.
Right.
Man, it's a worker's world.
Fucking commie.
No, it isn't.
All right. Here's my thing. I think with that kind of...
You might have to give Josh a ride back to his house.
Public, if
He's
it's
the one calling you a commie.
If it's publicly produced and publicly paid for, I'm not a favor of handing it off to private ownership. But if it's something that has been seized for public use, then I have a big problem with it. But I'm going to go with the understanding that it has been publicly built. It then should be publicly owned. I'm going to go strongly agree on this one.
We're talking about the excessive government one, right? Or
No.
Okay. I'm
No.
sorry.
The
I didn't know if you-
no, the
All
road,
right.
the public utilities.
Okay,
All right,
I'm
next
sorry.
question. Excessive government intervention is a threat to the economy.
I strongly agree.
Adam.
I strongly agree as well. I think excessive is the key word there.
Wow, we're all in unison. Strongly agree as well. Kind of for those same reasons.
Dang it, Adam, I thought you were going to say I thought you were going to disagree, and then I was going to accuse you of being a Trump supporter. Damn, you threw me for a loop on that.
All right. Those with greater ability to pay should receive better health care.
Disagree. I feel like they're talking. They don't say they're talking about socialized medicine here, but I feel like they are, and I oppose that in all ways. So I'll just say disagree.
Okay, so you're saying you're opposed to if in a socialized medicine situation, if somebody has the ability to go above and beyond what's minimally available to the public, they shouldn't be able to do that, or should be able to do that rather.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised by your disagree there.
Well, those with the greater ability to pay should receive better health care.
Or if you have the ability to pay for experimental stuff or more, should you be able to have access to that?
Let's
no,
say
I'm
this.
I'm gonna say disagree.
I'm going to say
because-
strongly disagree.
I'm actually going to say disagree because I feel like good doctors should do good work in good situations. So I'm going to say disagree.
Who's the
God
commie
damn.
now?
I'm going to be the asshole here, and I'm going to actually go agree here.
You're not an asshole. For
I'm-
that.
Capitalist pig, you.
No, it's not being an asshole though. It's not.
Yes, it is.
Listen,
Now,
when-
this doesn't necessarily mean that those without should have no access, but if you have the ability to compensate accordingly, if there are better, more efficient treatments available, by no means should you be prevented from accessing
Dorf
those.
and I have had this conversation probably 100 times.
Yeah,
So-
usually at work, taking about an hour worth of time, and it was a great way to spend
you
time.
got to understand that I totally oppose health insurance in any form. Private, public, government,
Really?
anything. I do.
That's a topic for another time. Let's
Yeah.
save that, but
I mean,
okay.
I oppose insurance on it at all. So I'm reading health care as
Not health insurance.
As health, right.
Okay. Quality education is a right of all people.
Not only do I strongly disagree with this statement, but it is a complete fallacy because the quality education that they're supposedly giving to the people doesn't even exist. So strongly disagree.
All right, Adam.
Strongly agree.
I'm
You
gonna
fence sitter. You are going
I am going to sit on the fence. I do not think that, a lot of it has to do with the, supposed quality isn't actually quality, but at the same time, I can't justify this being what you want to, whether it be an enumerated right and from a system like the U.S. Constitution or a God-given or natural right or whatever you want to call it. I can't justify that as being part of either of those. Therefore, I'm very stingy on what I will call rights and not privileges. I cannot agree with this one, but at the same time, I can't say that trying to play the game here, quality education shouldn't be a thing. So I'm going to sit on the fence. I'm going to go neutral here.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just change his address to the fence.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say this is like a medieval form of torture for yourself now. Sitting on the fence. What is that when it splits you in half when you sit on top?
Jeez,
Oh,
that's-
man.
that's disgusting.
Ooh.
Sorry.
God, you just took that to a weird place, man.
I'm sorry.
I know Josh answered on this one as well. The means of production should belong to the workers who use them.
Yeah, I strongly disagree. This is
Fucking commie bullshit.
This is a silly statement that is a slippery slope at best.
It's a slippery slope.
Adam, what about
Strongly
you?
agree.
Fucking commie. Jesus. This is a bullshit communist bullshit line that you... all right, I'm going to save a rant about, like a 10-minute rant about this for another time, so I'm just going to say strongly disagree.
It's like, what is that behind Adam? Is that a food line starting?
It's a bread line, yes. And all of a sudden, all the pets are gone. Next question. The United Nations should be abolished.
Woot woot. Strongly agree with this one. I was waiting for this question. Oh my God. Should be abolished. Should never have taken place. Should be abolished tomorrow.
All right, Adam, what about you?
Disagree.
Okay. One sentence. You got to give me one sentence why here.
I think nations working together is a good thing.
Okay. I'm going to go agree, but nations working together is a good thing. However, the United Nations is no longer necessary to facilitate that in the common information age, so they can go die in a fucking hole.
Dorf, I agree with you. And the thing is, I wouldn't have been so strong about it if that said NATO instead of the UN.
Well, all of them. NATO could die too.
I agree that NATO should, but I wouldn't be as strong about
the
it.
EU could go die in a hole as well.
Right, but the UN, I think, is
let
particularly
me say this. I think that there's a lot the UN can fix about itself, but I think the concept of the UN is a good thing.
Okay.
That's why I put disagree as opposed to strongly disagree.
Nations working together is a good thing. However, the establishment in the bureaucracy of the United Nations specifically is so bad. The only way to improve on it is to burn it down and start over, or burn it down and not replace it.
I got a phone call, guys. It's Adam. It's Woodrow Wilson. He wants a statism back.
All right, next. Military action by our nation is often necessary to protect it.
I feel like the word "often" is a really lousy word to use it should just be like is necessary.
Yeah.
So I don't like "often" because that's so often
too much wiggle room here.
Too. So I'll agree, I guess, because I do think I'm not a complete pacifist. I do think that sometimes it's necessary. Yeah.
What about you, Adam?
Disagree.
Okay. Can you? Why? I'm just curious.
Because I think we often take, for instance, the war in Iraq, or the war in Iraq in general. We didn't participate in that war, so to speak, just to protect ourselves. In fact, you could make a good argument that we didn't participate in that war at all to protect ourselves.
But was World War II necessary?
Well, that's again, I'm not saying that definitively, and I don't think that was a definitive statement. No, World War II was definitely done to protect ourselves in the entire Western.
To me, it seems like you agree with that statement. If you can name a war that was fought in this century, then to me that's why I agreed with it. Is the only reason I'm saying that. You know what I mean?
Okay, I'm gonna actually have an even weirder opinion than this. I'm gonna go strongly agree here.
Okay.
Wars to protect a nation are necessary. Nation building is not. What we've been doing since World War II is nation building. Well, instead of just knock them down and get out, don't worry about, recover, don't worry about what you leave behind, mission accomplished. Power vacuums are also a very, very dangerous fucking thing, which is why. So, if the military action to protect a nation is absolutely necessary. However, nation building is not. So I'm going to go strongly agree here. I support regional unions such as the European Union. Josh.
Strongly disagree. Is there an even darker red thing below strongly disagree? Oh, no. Okay, I guess I'll just have to go strongly disagree.
What about you, Adam?
Agree.
Okay, I'm going to go disagree as well. See my answer about the UN.
No, you're going disagree. Not as well as Josh, because Josh wanted something that was basically white.
Whoa. Take that out of context. That's
well,
going to be
white, well,
that
white,
is going to be a great sound clip.
White, hot, or purple. Does that sound better?
Sure.
Okay.
Next, it is important to maintain our national sovereignty.
This is where, for all those people out there over the years who have accused me of being an anarchist, this is where I am not. Yeah, I agree. I agree with this statement. I do like a decent, just, and as small as possible government, but that doesn't involve national sovereignty.
Okay, Adam, what about you?
Yeah, what the hell? Disagree.
All right.
How are you going to put all those socialistic things through?
Welfare states don't work without good borders.
Yeah, I mean, how's that going to work?
Welfare states collapse in a generation without good borders.
See, well, I'm trying not to put neutral on this.
Oh, you're trying to not sit on the fence like me? You're not going to join me on the pike?
Yeah.
Okay. I hate the guy who has kind of popularized this phrase, being Michael Savage, but borders, language, and culture are incredibly fucking important. Strongly agree. Next, a united world government would be beneficial to mankind. Status fucking pigs.
Oh my god. I weep for the person that agrees with this statement, but yeah, strongly disagree.
Adam.
Strongly disagree.
Awesome. Strongly disagree.
Thank God.
Distance from power is incredibly important and should be as small as possible. It is impossible to get the consent of the governed in a united world government because there's too many fucking people and this world is too damn big. Next, it is important to retain peaceful relations than further our strength.
You know, again, I'm not picking neutral on anything. I'm going to say disagree simply because this situation matters. Each individual situation matters. I don't want to be peaceful with countries that are terrible, and I don't want to further our strength just for the sake of furthering our strength.
Sure.
But so I will disagree with this statement, though.
What about you, Adam?
Strongly agree.
Okay. I'm going to say disagree here. The best and most powerful driver for peace is mutually assured destruction. So, actually, I'm going to go strongly disagree because of that. The stronger everybody is, the less likely people are to fuck with each other. Wars do not need to be justified to other countries.
Agree. I completely agree with this, actually. You know what? I'm actually going to say strongly agree. I don't want a world where you have some huge superpower waging wars on everybody all the time. But still, then you gotta hope and assume that other countries are gonna sack up and do something about it if you have that nasty country out there.
I guess I'm confused by this question.
Sure.
Basically, for instance, when we went into Iraq and
You went to the UN to try and get a coalition force together.
right,
Okay.
and only
We were only going to do it if we got a coalition.
right. Correct. Yeah, basically.
Go ahead, Dorf.
A lot of South American countries, for instance, Adam, do like they won't go to war if they don't get approval of
Their neighbors.
other nations around them.
I'm going to go strongly disagree here. It's not your fucking business. Other country, you can join the other side and we'll annihilate you too. Because, that gets back to, the real definition of war, in my mind, is not what you've seen in our lifetime.
I agree with you.
It should be last man, war is last man standing.
Yeah, no, I tend to agree with you.
Last man standing and should be last resort.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go strongly disagree here. Oh, Adam's crisis of confidence here. Or not crisis of confidence.
I don't know. It
Crisis
just,
of
it
character
just seems like a weird statement to
It
me.
is a weird statement. It is a weird statement.
Wars do not need to be justified to other countries.
The reason it's such a weird statement to me is because who is saying what other countries are agreeing, and are they just or unjust?
Well, that's what's kind of throwing me for a loop here. Is who are they talking about?
Well, and that's the thing, is that other countries who are judging you may be unjust themselves. So that's why I disagreed with it.
Remember, the ultimate goal of the nation state is to perpetuate itself.
I'll say disagree.
And justify and continue and perpetuate its existence. It shouldn't have to take other people's or other countries' interest into factor when making decisions about itself. So, anyway, next question. This is question 23. We're actually moving along fairly okay. Military spending is a waste of money.
I'm gonna say agree. It's a lot of things are a waste of money. Most things are a waste of money. Doesn't necessarily mean you never have to do it, but yeah, agree.
Okay, Adam.
I'll disagree.
Okay. I'm going to strongly disagree for kind of my point about mutually assured destruction. When everybody has big things that go boom, that is a great incentive to not poke the bear. So, do we need $85 wrenches when you can have a $20 one that can do the job? No. But at the same time, too, the kind of premise of this question that no spending should be done on the military is bullshit. So strongly.
Well, I don't. And again, I want to further stretch my point a little bit here too, as well. That I'm not saying that. I think military spending in the United States is incredibly out of control.
Sure,
but I'm not going as far as to say that the military doesn't deserve spending.
Okay.
So,
All right. Next question. International aid is a waste of money.
Josh.
Well, as a blanket statement, I will strongly agree with this.
Okay.
Actually, again, just because something is a waste of money doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. When you see a bum on a street corner,
Doesn't
or a
mean you don't
homeless
give-
guy on
don't
the
give him your
street corner,
charity.
and I mean, charity is a waste of money. Giving $5 to a homeless
It's
guy
not in your best
is
interest.
a waste of money. But it doesn't mean you should never do it. If you just feel like you want to do the right thing, if you're doing international spending, basically is what I'm saying, do it because it's the right thing. But it is a waste of money.
Okay. What about you, Adam?
Strongly disagree.
Okay.
But I see your point, Josh.
I'm kind of on Josh's perspective here. International aid in its current form is terribly wasteful and doesn't help the people it's intended to help. And international aid, if you're in the position of the aid giver, you should be doing it to further your own interests. So, whether that be, to build up a neighboring economy to produce more consumers for your economy, or out of altruism, you should be doing it to promote your own growth and your own agenda. But international aid in its current form is terrible. So I'm actually going to say agree on this. Next question. Ooh, man. My nation is great.
I agree. The nation.
Not strongly agree?
I'm gonna just say agree. You know what? Actually, I will say strongly agree. I will say strongly agree.
I was going to say
Just simply
fake patriot.
Well, listen, we live in an inherently flawed country, and I'm not crazy about our current society, but the Constitution of the country in which I live, to me, still is the greatest document ever created for governing. And it's based on the best ideas ever. So when compared to every other nation that has ever been on this planet, yeah, I strongly agree. The United States of America is a great place.
Okay.
Agree.
Okay.
Just agree. Not strongly agree.
Okay.
Agree.
I'm going to kind of modify a quote from Winston Churchill. The quote from Winston Churchill was, "Democracy is the worst form of government except all the others." America is still deeply flawed and is imperfect, but it is the greatest experiment in individual freedom and liberty in the history of the world, and it's been done the most good for the most people. But at the same time, it still can do better. So I'm just going to go agree for that reason. But America, fuck yeah.
Alexander Hamilton actually also, Dorf said democracy is the worst form of government. Unfortunately, the only one that is just.
Winston Churchill, my other I believe it was in the same speech or available, whatever.
I can't believe they were talking about taking him off the $10 bill. That's like the dumbest thing in the world.
The best argument against democracy is 5 minutes with the average voter.
Yeah,
that's.
I actually tend to go with the Ben Franklin quote though more than anything, that democracy is two wolves and a sheep deciding on what's for dinner.
Yeah,
Liberty is a well-armed sheep contesting the vote.
We need to get Aaron in here because he's calling you both capitalist pigs. So I need some backup in here.
So everybody's just fucking bacon because you're a communist.
Yeah, I mean, capitalism is simply it's
the worst form of economic systems except all the others.
Capitalism occurs naturally through liberty. Through life in general.
It is you could call it the end state of the natural order.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna move on. Next question: research should be conducted on an international scale.
I don't know. Sure. Strongly agree.
All right, Adam.
Strongly agree. Josh wants to change his answer now.
No, I do
Here's
not.
the vagueness of this question is what bothers me. Who's funding it? I'm going to sit on the fence because publicly funded international research I'm not on board with. But
John
if
Kasich over there.
international, shut up, international organizations of private origin want to collaborate on research projects, that's awesome. So I'm going to sit on the fence.
How's Cleveland going?
Government should be accountable to.
Waltersdorf 2020.
I'm not. I won't be old enough yet.
You gonna do primary
Oh,
Trump?
jeez. You're that young?
Yeah,
Crap.
dude. I've got 3 more cycles before I'm eligible.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Government should be accountable to the international community.
Strongly disagree.
Okay, Adam.
Agree.
I'm gonna go strongly disagree as well. They should be accountable to the those who they govern. Everybody else can buzz the fuck off.
Preach, brother.
Next, it's question 28. Even when protesting an authoritarian government, violence is not acceptable.
Well, I was just blowing up the founding fathers and the Constitution, so I think I got to disagree with this one.
Okay, Adam.
You know, this is a tough one. I'm gonna go agree, but leave myself an out.
Okay, what's your out?
Circumstance.
Okay.
It's not going to be covered in just that.
Yeah, a blanket statement.
Yeah.
I'm in the same position as you. Political violence in the modern arena is unacceptable every time. However, you don't get America without political violence. You don't get the greatest experiment in liberty ever without it.
I can agree with that.
I mean, if
God, this is so hard.
if the government is using violence on you and you
It is okay to you could argue it is absolutely okay to reciprocate.
Yeah, I mean it has to be necessary.
But the idea that political terrorism is okay is something I'm not comfortable with.
All right, what's next?
My religious values should be spread as much as possible.
I hate this question.
I absolutely do too.
I loathe this question, and I will tell you why as briefly as possible. I am deeply spiritual and devoutly religious. I am very proud of my religious views. I love my particular faith, and I want that to be available to anyone. So I guess I'm going to agree, but then I'm going to get lumped into being somebody that supports a theocracy of some sort, which I of course do not. I mean, I don't want religion being pushed by government. But yeah, I think it should be spread as much as possible. I believe in freedom of speech, and I believe that you should be able to say what you want. And if that means 5 million YouTube channels about the different religions out there, then yeah, I guess I support that. So I guess I'll agree. But I hate this question because I feel like this quiz is going to lump me in a direction that I don't really want to go.
Okay, Adam, what about you?
Strongly disagree.
Okay. I'm in huge conflict here. Religion should be a individual, non-compulsory choice. However, the point of evangelistic religions, which you could argue about the only one still in the mainstream that isn't wholly evangelistic, is Judaism. And I can explain that later if it needs to be explained. The idea that you can force religion on people at the tip of a spear, the point of a gun, et cetera, which is arguably government force.
It's not saying
I can't. I know, but that to your point, that's what it very possibly could be inferring. Are you? Do you want to be part of the in a theocracy? Yes or no? I can't say yes.
I know what you're saying, Dorf, but I just feel like
free societies cannot exist where religion is compulsory.
I feel like we shouldn't be trying to cheat the test, though, to beat the test.
So you know don't answer to the test, answer the question.
Right. That's what I'm doing.
All right, I'm going to go with agree then. God damn it, I hate this.
I do. It's a terrible question. It really is. It's an absolutely terrible question.
And you're going to love the next one.
But
just
it needs
as
to
more.
be asked on something like this.
Does it? No, it should be asked differently.
Okay, but that type of question needs to be asked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Strongly disagree.
All right, next question. We'll move on here. Our nation's values should be spread as much as possible.
All right, I went regular agree on the last one. I'll go regular disagree on this one.
Okay. What about you?
Strongly disagree.
I'm going to go strongly disagree as well. Governments and nations should be a reflection of the consent of the governed. Leave it up to the people in the individual area to shape a government in their own image in the way they want to. Next, it is very important to maintain law and order.
Strongly disagree.
Okay. Fucking anarchist. Adam, what about you?
Disagree.
Adam, later, if you show some stuff, show that meme I sent you about that I said describes my political views.
I'll post it with this when the show goes
Just
up.
say, post it under my name or something.
Here's my problem.
Dorf's the Law and Order podcaster.
And you know what? I'm not going to shy away from that label.
That's okay.
Societies are built on law and order. If you do not hold people to the common laws and you have preferential treatment or prosecutorial discretion, then you might as well not have laws at all. And at that point, if you're not going to have laws at all, you end up either with an authoritarian government that does what it wants, or absolute anarchy.
Look at you trying to switch things around here.
Or absolute anarchy, and neither of which are good. So I'm going to say it's strongly agree here.
All right, I smell the bread line cooking up
Josh,
neighborhood dogs behind Adam, but I get nothing but bacon whiffs from Dorf's
Josh,
side of the table.
Josh, don't worry, I got you. I'll drive you home.
Thanks, bro.
Next, in the era of Winston Churchill, the general populace makes poor decisions.
I mean, again, I'm not playing to the test. I feel like could potentially lump me into something. I'm not playing for the test. It's a very basic blanket statement, and I strongly agree with it.
Okay. What you Adam?
I still have faith in people. I'm gonna go disagree.
People are idiots.
Remember how dumb the average person is, and remember half of people are dumber than that. I'm gonna say I'm only gonna go agree. I'm not gonna go strongly agree. Violent crime, victimless crimes such as drug use should not be crimes at all.
Here we go, Josh. I've got your back here, man.
This is an easy one for me. I'm staring at the screen over and over again, looking for the double super mega strongly agree button, and it's not there. So I guess I'll go strongly agree.
What about you, Adam?
Strongly agree.
Okay. One caveat: I'm going to join you in the strongly agree party. As long as they are truly victimless. Strongly agree. Truly victimless.
I didn't see anything there that said it wasn't.
Yeah, no. I mean that is a slippery slope because.
And here's the deal: I would argue illicit drug use is not completely victimless, but that's a subject for another time.
That was actually the one they did give as an example, though, was drug use in that question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The sacrifice of some civil liberties is necessary to protect us from acts of terrorism.
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph and the shepherds. Strongly disagree, for God's sakes.
Adam.
Disagree.
Okay. I'm going to go strongly disagree as well. Unfortunately, terrorism is a, quote, cost of doing business in free societies, and it's unfortunate, and it's terrible, and it's tragic, but the alternative is I can't stomach it, so strongly disagree. Government surveillance is necessary in the modern world.
All right, come on, NSA.
This is like the same question.
Yeah, okay, yeah, come on, NSA, bring it. Put me on all your lists. Just do it. I'm there. Yeah,
You're already there, man.
I'm your guy. I'm your guy. Just
I mean, just look at your Facebook data. Have you downloaded that yet?
Yeah, no, I have not.
Okay,
don't even.
It'll probably make you throw up.
Yeah, no, I'm on all your lists already. Of course, government surveillance is not necessary in the modern world. I strongly disagree.
Disagree.
I'm going to strongly disagree as well. Fuck you, am I being detained?
Do you know why the libertarian chicken crossed the road?
Fuck you, am I being detained? The very existence of the state is a threat to our liberty.
Agree. I have to agree. And again, this is why I said earlier that I'm not an anarchist. I do believe that there should be a state, but yes, the existence to said state is a threat to our liberty, and it must be monitored always.
Sure, Adam.
Disagree.
Okay. Any reason why?
I don't think I need to explain that too much.
Fair enough. Just answering the question on the page, the state is a threat to individual liberty, yes. However, the absolute stateless society that is anarchy is not preferable either. I'm going to go agree, just agree. Because, yes, unfortunately, it is the cost of doing business that some individual liberties have to be sacrificed in the form of a state in order to form a productive and healthy society where it isn't just bigger stick diplomacy. Regardless of political opinions, it is important to side with your country.
I definitely disagree with this statement, but I'm going to put disagree instead of strongly disagree, simply because I feel like there's a whole lot of self-loathing going on in a lot of the major nations of the world, and I feel like people go too far with this, and in essence, hate the political opinion of their country, regardless of what it is, just for the sake of hating it.
Sure.
So I'm going to say disagree instead of strongly disagree, because I don't.
What about you, Adam?
Strongly disagree.
I'm going to strongly disagree as well. However, you need to make ultimately a pragmatic decision on an individual case-by-case basis here. Ultimately, rooting for the end of your country, your civilization, is not ultimately likely to be in your best interest, so don't go too hard. No authority should be left unquestioned.
Instantly I wanted to say strongly agree with this. I'm going to say agree, just simply because they don't have any governmental implications in this specific question.
So if the question was no government authority should be left unquestioned?
Yes, then I would say strongly agree.
Okay.
But I'm saying agree just because I think kids should listen to their parents. I think people should listen to their boss at work. Not blindly, but I feel like sometimes you just, it's ignorant to just question everything all the time.
This is not something you can answer black and white.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, sometimes your boss tells you to do something that you disagree with, but you just do it. It's your job. Just do your job, So I'll say agree.
Okay, what about you, Adam?
You know what? I agree with you, Josh, but this isn't... I get the feeling that this isn't an everyday quiz.
Mm-hmm.
8 values quiz. I think this is strictly politics, so I'm going to go strongly agree.
It doesn't seem like it's strictly politics.
That's a very pragmatic play in the game answer.
Yeah, I'm like I've said, and I'm not telling you guys how to take the test, but I'm trying
that's fine.
I'm just taking the test. I'm not trying to take the test for what
you don't want to end up with your predetermined answer,
right?
Your expected predetermined answer.
Correct.
Josh. I think my thoughts on the subject were perfectly summed up in your statement. I'm going to go agree as well.
Cool.
A hierarchical state is best.
Strongly disagree.
Okay. What about you, Adam?
Same. Strongly
Okay.
disagree.
Here's where I'm going to get into nitpicking the question. There's nothing wrong with earned hierarchies. There's absolutely nothing wrong with earned hierarchies. Unearned hierarchies, such as like monarchy, or in a communist state where you have party members and non-party members, those are bullshit. However, earned hierarchies and competence-based hierarchies are absolutely are 100% ethical, moral, everything. So I'm gonna sit on the fence.
Oh my god!
All right, just what? Since we know he's not moving, just everybody send his social security check just right to the fence. He'll still be there.
Dorf.
1, 2, 3, the fence. Anytown, USA.
That's funny.
It is important that excuse me. It is important that the government follow the majority opinion, even if it is wrong.
Oh, I strongly disagree with this. I mean, if that's the case, then there's no purpose to any of this. If you're just simply going to go with a democracy in all things, there's a reason we're a republic. There's a reason why we're a representative democracy. There's a reason why no democracy in a large form has ever worked in the history of mankind. So I have to strongly disagree with this statement.
I agree with everything that Josh said, so I'm going to go strongly disagree.
You're right. Pure straight democracies are terrible because then you have the tyranny of the majority is incredibly dangerous.
Correct.
Golly. However, thinking about playing the test, I'm concerned about where my answer will put me.
This guy.
but I'm gonna go strongly disagree here.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
All
okay.
right, we're proud of you. We're proud of you.
What I'm worried about is you end up.
I take that stink eye back.
Next question: the stronger the leadership, the better.
You know,
God damn it!
This is again. I feel like this is kind of a silly question because I feel like they're hinting at the idea that
Fascist leaders are best.
right, and that that they have that right to enforce it. I'm actually going to agree with this statement. I like strong leadership, good leadership. I'm using strong, synonymously with good.
Okay.
I mean, you need good, strong leaders to help run the show. If because the opposite, what would the opposite of strong? It would be weak. The weaker the leadership, the better. Well, I would definitely disagree with that statement, so I'm going to agree with this one.
Okay. What about you, Adam?
Sorry, Josh, our streak is over. I'm going strongly disagree. And the only reason why I'm doing
You're
that,
afraid of the authoritarian implications of the question.
I'm to me, that's what I think the creator of this test is asking. That's what I think.
See, I'm going to have no problem at the end of this if I know what my views are, and if this test comes back
It's
saying something that's totally different, then
It's not
I'm
gonna
just
ma-
going to
it's
cry.
not-
I'm going to cry bullshit and say the test is bunk. So I'm just answering the questions exactly how.
You're not gonna start
being
crying and
asked.
go on a soul searching trip.
No, I'm really not.
He's gonna go to India. Like who's the running back that did that?
Ricky Williams.
Yeah, Ricky Williams.
He went on a vision quest to India. Yeah.
I'd go to India. That'd be cool.
I'm afraid of the authoritarian implications of the question, so I'm just gonna go agree here. Weak leaders are useless, but uber strong leaders aren't necessarily great either. Democracy is a decision make. Excuse me. Democracy is more than a decision making process. What else would it be? Is my question.
I feel like the only thing in democracy that you do is make a decision. So I guess I'll strongly disagree with this statement. I don't know why it's relevant, but I'll strongly disagree.
I think we're gonna have to get into reading some, Plato and Aristotle here to try and figure out what the root of this question is.
Perhaps.
Dorf, that's kind of what I'm feeling on this. I feel like there's more to this question, so I'm gonna say agree.
I'm gonna play the ignorance here on the the philosophical roots of the question, and I'm gonna sit on the fence.
Oh my!
Hey, philosophy is one of my backgrounds, and
You don't have a good answer. Quick answer for us?
I really don't. I don't know what they're trying to say with that.
Okay. To avoid swinging my answers wildly one way or the other, I'm going to sit on the fence. All right. Environmental regulations are essential.
Strongly disagree. You status pigs.
Adam.
What do you think?
I know your answer. It's going to be strongly agree.
Bingo.
Here's the thing. On a philosophical level, I'm totally with you, Josh. However, on a practical and looking at historical data, I gotta go with agree here because you know what, I am very much. I wouldn't call you myself a climate change denier. However, I am very, very skeptical that government provided solutions, especially the ones proposed currently, will do jack shit. So I don't think they'll do jack shit. So, however, I can't say that they're not completely unnecessary. So I'm gonna go agree.
I'm actually worse than a climate change denier.
Yeah.
I actually just don't care.
He took the catalytic converters out of all of his cars.
Okay. Why not?
All right.
I have taken a catalytic converter off my car before. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, come on.
It sounds so much cooler.
It sound tight as hell, yo.
Instead of getting a cold air intake or a fancy muffler kit, no, we're just going to take the catalytic converter
I didn't even
off.
take it off, just snipped it. Let it hang.
All right. Question 44 here. A better world will come from automation, science, and technology.
Have you guys seen Terminator? I mean, come on. No, I watched iRobot this afternoon. Strongly disagree.
Adam.
Strongly agree.
The robots are coming for you, Adam.
I told you, get a hose. I've told you this every single time. You get a hose and you'll take care of it.
We live in a world where they're gonna create robots that can take over before they even invent lightsabers.
Watch that
it's
Family
ridiculous.
Guy. Just watch that Family Guy.
I am very, very concerned, or at least concerned or uncertain about the future that a fully automated world would bring, and the essential lack of need for the majority of the population to further exist. And I'm uncomfortable with what that would look like. So I'm still going to go agree, because ultimately science and technology have done so much for the human race. Automation has as well. I would argue to kind of a lesser extent. But I'm worried about a dystopian future. So I'm just going to go agree instead of strongly agree. Children should be educated in religious or traditional values.
See, this I don't like this question because by whom? No,
At the force of a gun?
Yeah, I mean, by whom? I have 4 children, and I educate them in religion and traditional values. So I guess I have to put agree, right? But I also oppose compulsory education. So how am I supposed to answer this question? I mean, because
Josh, I think you're
simply learning.
I think you're best.
If to educate is to teach, or if to educate is to have somebody learn something, then I agree with this statement.
So I think your best answer here would probably just be agree, because you agree that it's a good idea, but you don't agree that it should be at the force of a gun to be done.
Right. I mean, I oppose compulsory education altogether, basically.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to jump in line here. I'm going to agree with you that arguably this is, a good idea for individuals to choose, but I can't make you choose it. I can't live with myself and make you choose that if you do not choose to do that for you and yours. So Adam, what about you?
I think this test is playing to the public level here, so I'm going to say strongly disagree.
Okay. Next question. Traditions are of no value on their own.
Strongly disagree. No, I'll just say disagree. I don't agree with that statement.
All right, Adam.
Traditions are on. Strongly disagree.
I'm gonna go strongly disagree. You got any explanation you want? You don't have to.
I do, but it's not something I'm going to be able to say in just a couple of sentences.
Okay, so I'm gonna go strongly disagree as well. If you forget where you came from, you're a cold, soulless, miserable person. So I can't say traditions are useless. However, they shouldn't be the ultimate governing body. Religion should play a role in government.
I say disagree. I definitely disagree with this statement. The only reason I'm putting disagree instead of strongly disagree is because I don't want a government only ever run by strictly atheists. I don't think being an atheist should be a requirement for being in the government, and I don't have a problem with a member of government saying "God bless America" or something when something bad happens, like some people do. So I disagree with this statement.
Adam,
strongly disagree.
Add another couple years to my term on the fence here.
Oh, Jesus.
The foundation of Western morality, which I don't think any of us would argue is not the best out of the available options, whether you want to believe it or not, is the Judeo-Christian ethic.
Yeah.
However, theocracies are awful, so I got to sit in the middle. Religion should be an individual choice. It's about your spiritual journey to, the next step.
I agree with you.
I agree.
Shouldn't be compulsory.
No, absolutely not. No,
all right.
I agree with you completely.
Next question. Ooh, man, this is going to be interesting.
See, we both agree with you. You should just put disagree.
Churches should be taxed in the same way as other institutions are taxed.
I disagree with this, and I will tell you why. And I'm not saying this necessarily to try to convince my cohorts here to go a different way than they may want to go, but I do want to remind everyone, because a lot of people I think don't realize why churches aren't taxed. The Supreme Court has ruled way back when that, and this is truth, the ability to tax is the ability to destroy. When the government has the right to tax something, that means you are giving them that right to tax it out of existence. That's why, okay, cigarettes can be taxed, right? Because you don't have a right
They're
to be...
a privilege, not a right.
You don't have the right to cigarettes. There isn't an amendment out there about the right to cigarettes. So if the government really one day wants to make packs of cigarettes cost $80 a pack and hope that just everybody just has to quit, that's technically within their right, even though I would oppose that, but that is technically within their right. But that is why churches are not taxed. The First Amendment gives us freedom of religion. And churches are not taxed because
to protect that right.
Yeah, the ability to tax is the ability to destroy.
Okay. Adam.
Joel Osteen, agree.
Honestly, Josh, I didn't know that, what you just brought up there. I was going to sit on the fence because I've kind of had a little bit of soul searching about this of late, because you know what, at the same, what makes them, any different than any other, voluntary organization. But at the same time, I didn't think about it from the taxation out of existence perspective. So for that alone, I'm going to go, I got to go strongly disagree.
I saw a funny meme the other day. It had Joel Osteen on it and his wife, and it said, we saved money on our taxes by switching to Jesus.
That's terrible. All right, next. Climate change is currently one of the greatest threats to our way of life.
Way too many. Even if climate change is everything that they say it is, I still strongly disagree with this statement, because there are... That's like saying, don't worry about what's going to maybe kill you tomorrow. This thing's going to kill you 1,000 years from now when you're already dead. So I strongly disagree with this statement, even if climate change is everything they say it is, and I don't think it is.
Okay, Adam.
I lump climate change in with a lot of things, so I'll put strongly agree.
It depends on threats to our way of life and the immediacy of that statement. Are you going to die tomorrow from climate change? Highly, 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 highly unlikely. Will it change the course of humanity in the macro? Can't say that it won't. So I'm going to judge this as in from the individual lifetime perspective, and for that reason, I'm going to disagree. Not strongly, but just disagree, because it is unlikely, in the Western world at least, to end up being a reason you die. It will not be your cause of death. Highly, highly unlikely to be your cause of death. But however, from a more macro perspective, when you're looking about humanity out in the future, it absolutely will be a driving factor in how things go significantly farther down the line. All right, next, we're in question 50. Actually, we're at about an hour. We're doing okay. That's about where I thought we'd be.
Yeah, not bad, guys.
Yeah, we're just over a minute each. It is important that we work as a united world to combat climate change. We're in the climate change section here, guys.
Yeah, okay. Just to make it so I don't look like the climate change jerk, I'm going to preface this with cross off the words climate change and put, it is important that we work as a united world to combat fill in the blank. I strongly disagree. No matter what that last statement is.
Whatever you fill in the blank with.
Yeah, whatever you fill in the blank with, unless potentially it's...
civilization-ending event?
Well, yeah, I mean, Darth Vader just showed up with the Death
Armageddon?
Star. Yeah. It is important that we work as a united world to combat the Death Star.
Okay, admit it. You'd think it would be kind of cool if Darth Vader showed up with a Death Star.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I could join a small band of rebels struggling to restore freedom to the galaxy. Of course, it'd be cool.
Live out your Star Wars fantasy.
We just want to go meet Darth Vader once, though, and be like, hey, man, what's going on?
I think you're the coolest guy ever, but you're totally a dick.
You wouldn't say that to him.
No, I wouldn't.
Can I be honest with you, Lord Vader?
I mean, force choke him and kill him.
All right, Adam, what about you?
Unless Grand Moff Tarkin was there. And...
Oh, I would recognize his foul stench as soon as I was brought on board.
This is going downhill fast.
Strongly agree.
We
need another Star Wars show, probably.
Politics of the Empire, Star Wars edition.
That'd be great. We could really do that.
We could argue the political systems of the different factions.
We legitimately could do this.
And whether or not the rebels are really the good guys?
No, the show wouldn't even be that silly. Really, we could do a great show on that.
I really think we could.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's put it on the list.
I think we have like the next 3 shows lined up. So
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we have a list already generated. We've got like a year and a half's worth of content already, so we'll put it on the list.
Right.
Adam, did you answer this already? I forgot.
I put strongly agree.
Okay.
Come on, fence sitter. Just put neutral.
I'm sitting on the fence.
His is going to come back not enough data.
I'm uncomfortable with how it's worded because it's.
Oh wait, is Hillary Clinton gonna? Is just a picture of Hillary Clinton gonna come up?
I'm gonna sit on the fence because I'm uncomfortable with the idea that, you know, because essentially the implication is, you know, we should adopt a world carbon tax, and carbon taxes don't work. So
this is
sorry.
My life song. My life song.
I don't even know what that is.
Josh knows what it is. It was Hillary's campaign song.
Oh, was it? Okay. Next. Society was better many years ago than it is now. Was better many years ago than it is now.
Stupid question.
Poorly worded.
Yeah, I mean, it is for some. It isn't for others.
Society was better many years ago than it is now.
Who's society? All right. He said I wouldn't go neutral. So, society.
How do you define that?
Yeah, you know what? Disagree. I guess I'll have to say disagree, because at least that is a neutralizing idea. You know, in some places I actually really agree with this statement, but as a blanket statement, I have to disagree with it.
Adam.
Strongly disagree.
Okay. At the expense of sounding uber progressive here, I'm going to say strongly disagree as well. Kind of from a macro perspective, you can't deny that society as a whole, defined as humanity, is not better off now than it was yesterday and the day before that.
So Josh was a little progressive in his answer there?
Yeah, I know. Sorry, Josh.
So, yes, he can.
Are you starting to develop like warts and boils all over you now?
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much.
Anyway, next, it is important that we maintain the traditions of our past.
I agree with that. Yeah, I mean, if they're good traditions, yeah. I mean, I definitely agree with that. Traditions, for the most part, are yeah. I agree with this. I don't think it's a overly harsh statement. So yeah, I agree.
Okay, Adam.
Disagree.
Why? I'm interested.
I think for a lot of the reasons why Josh is agreeing with it, I'm disagreeing with it. I guess I'm disagreeing with it for probably the reasons that you are disagreeing with it. I'm just
you feel more strongly about it.
I mean, you don't think we should celebrate Christmas?
See that?
I mean,
I don't know.
You don't think we should celebrate the 4th of July?
You see that's not the way I'm looking at this question.
You know, I mean, you don't.
I think I'm going to kind of end up in the same boat as you here.
I mean, you don't think people in Israel should make unleavened bread? Yeah, I mean,
what kind of bread is that?
I make
on the holidays. You know, I mean, that's
unleavened bread is bread without yeast. It doesn't rise. It's very dense.
It sounds gross. Yeah, maybe they shouldn't do that.
it's from all my Jewish friends don't like matzah and you know that stuff, but it's tradition. They make it on the.
So here's my perspective.
Not all of them, but some of them.
Judge traditions with a modern cultural lens. If they still fit within the Overton window of your modern culture, absolutely maintain them. However, remember, awful things such as like slavery and child marriages are tradition, historically tradition, and in a modern lens, those are fucking awful.
But what?
There should be no incentive to maintain those.
Yeah, I mean, but you could also say that breaking the bonds of slavery is a tradition as well.
Yeah, and you could argue that, but at the same time, I can't go fully fully strongly agree on this because of that.
And truth is, slavery occurs naturally in just about, in the vast majority of societies that have ever been developed.
And there still
breaking the bands of slavery is
the uncommon thing.
Is a tradition that we come forward. I mean, slavery predates the use of money.
Yeah.
This has been around forever.
Weren't slaves considered forms of money in some sense?
They could be.
They were a tradable commodity.
And they always say prostitution is the world's oldest profession. Actually, slavery is the world's oldest profession.
Servitude, whatever, same difference. It is important. Next question. We're going to move on here. So it is important that we think in the long term beyond our lifespans.
I guess I agree. I feel like there's a lot to this. A
lot of nuance to this question. Yeah.
I'll agree.
Okay, Adam.
Strongly agree.
Okay, I'm not going to go full Randian objectivist here, where your rational self-interest is the only thing that matters, because you're a human being and you don't work that way. Because you're an irrational human being by nature, and what makes humanity different than most animals is you have the ability to override that genetic irrationality. Should it be your number one priority? Absolutely not. But to say that you shouldn't give a flying fuck about what happens after you die is horseshit as well. So I'm going to go just agree, not strongly agree.
But you sum that up nice. That's pretty much my sentiments on that as well.
Okay. Next, we're on 54. Reason.
To tell you the truth, one thing, I'm sorry, Dorf.
No, go ahead.
I don't think there's a whole lot of difference between agree and strongly agree with the question like that. I really don't. I mean, it seems like it is.
It's just in order to select strongly agree, you have to be willing to turn that dial up to 11 in that case.
I guess,
and I'm not.
I guess it just seems like there's not a whole lot of.
That's kind of what I'm doing, Adam. I know I've said a lot of agrees and disagrees because I ruled out saying neutral, but I'm reserving strongly agree and strongly disagree for slam dunks.
Okay,
that's a fair way to take it, and that's a very good way to take this test.
That's the way I've been taking it.
Okay.
Next, reason is more important than maintaining our culture.
Reason is more important than just about everything, so I will strongly agree.
Okay.
I agree with Josh. Strongly agree.
God damn, slam dunk, all three of us.
Strongly agree. Nice.
Next. Drug use should be legalized or at least decriminalized.
Strongly agree. Mind your business, everybody.
We already had this question. Strongly agree.
I'm not gonna go strongly agree here because I still will argue the fact that drug use is not a victimless crime.
Okay, Jeff Sessions.
I'm not saying bring down the ban hammer, but I'm not willing to cede the ground that drug use is a victimless crime. So I'm just gonna go agree.
Beauregard.
You could maybe sell me on the argument that drug sales are not a victimless crime, but drug use to me is absolutely a victimless crime. Selling drugs,
another subject for another day,
is a different story.
We're gonna make sure that this is a topic going forward.
Adam, here's the question. The next one. This is what we discussed.
Same-sex marriage should be legal.
Here's Josh going full on libertarian in this one.
Okay, yeah.
All marriage should be illegal?
Correct.
So you're talking legal, like governmental marriage?
No. It's the opposite of that.
Oh, so you're now going MGTOW?
No, I'm going to disagree with this statement, and I've said this in other polls when I've been polled on this in the past. People say same-sex marriage should be legal, and they take it as that I am anti-gay because I disagree. But I have to disagree with this statement because I oppose all state-sanctioned marriage. I oppose the state having any business in anyone's marriage at all. I don't think the state should have anything to do with it. I truly believe that to say that same-sex marriage should be legal isn't giving someone or someone of the same sex the right to marriage. Because if you are asked a question and you don't have the ability to say none of your business, then you don't truly have the right to do it. So as someone that opposes all forms of, and by the way, I don't oppose marriage in a cultural level and a religious level. Something you do with your families. I like weddings. Weddings are fun, but marriage should not be linked
Government
to the state
should not be linked
at
to the
all.
state.
So I strongly, I guess I'll just say disagree because this question is loaded.
You're worried about the implications of the
Right.
question. Okay, Adam.
I'm gonna go strongly agree.
Okay, so I have two perspectives here. I'm going to go philosophical and kind of line up with you, Josh. Government should have no involvement in what two people do in their private lives. You can even argue if it's more than two, they shouldn't have any business in that either. As long as the relationship isn't inherently predatory and violating the rights of somebody, stay the fuck out of it. However, I'm going to put on my status cap here, and look at what is the ultimate goal and what drives a nation state is perpetuating its existence and incentivizing behaviors among its citizenry to perpetuate its existence. One of those being is procreation. Until science comes up with some way for same-sex couples to procreate just on their own, nation states, I have a hard time saying a nation state should incentivize, or not incentivize reproduction. And unfortunately, same-sex marriage,
Do you really
I have no
think that's linked, though?
What?
I mean, do you really think that making...
I'm not saying I agree with the statement. I'm just putting on my status cap here.
Okay, because that's not gonna turn gay people straight.
No, it isn't.
I mean,
but at the same time, from a governmental perspective, should you be incentivizing, arguably, from the nation state perspective, inefficient behavior?
But yeah, because freedom.
No, but ultimately, the philosophical argument of because freedom does win the day for me, I'm going to go actually strongly agree here. But I do agree with you. Government should have no business in the marriage game.
Look at Dorf, like, nope.
Yeah, I know. I know that the government that both of you guys are setting up, I'm going to be a terrorist in.
All right. Next question. Question 57. No cultures are superior to others.
Strongly disagree. This throws reason and logic out the window. I mean, if sorry to say, you can call me, multiculturalism has failed us in this world. And you can say what you want and you can try to spin this question in any way you want, but the Nazis had a legitimate culture.
Is that equal to everybody else's?
So I guess ours isn't superior to theirs, if you agree with this statement. No, there are some cultures that are really bad. And I have no problem pointing out cultures that I think mistreat women, that I think mistreat children, that I think mistreat people. I mean, some cultures have slaves. That, still to this day. Slavery wasn't just here in the United States in the 1850s.
It still exists throughout the world.
Yeah, all over the world. All over the world. So
it's been abolished in North America, in Europe. And it still exists in Asia, Africa, Central America.
It actually still exists in every country in the world. It's illegal in those places that you
True. It doesn't occur with state sanctioning.
Correct.
Okay.
And that goes along a lot with chattel slavery too, which was our method of it.
Fair.
So yeah, no, I strongly disagree with this statement.
Okay, Adam.
But I feel like this is a trick question.
I'm gonna strongly agree.
I have to strongly disagree here. For pretty much the exact reasons Josh you just stated here. There are inferior cultural practices throughout, and I'm gonna Western culture is the best. Suck my balls if you disagree. So,
what did you say, Adam? I'm sorry.
Strongly agree.
All right.
So you're cool with the Nazis? I mean,
talk about
if the majority of people think
course,
that the Jews...
unfair whataboutism.
Of course, I'm not cool with the Nazis, but for the sake of time, we still have 12 questions to go.
And we're approaching an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's move on. Sex outside of marriage is immoral.
Okay, the quiz got me. I said I wasn't going to do it, but This is none of anybody's business. So I will press the neutral button. I hope this is the only one I have to do it on, but this is not a question.
Took you 58 questions to break.
This is not a question for this test. I'm sorry. It's a dumb question. Neutral.
Adam.
Strongly disagree.
Comes down back to do I believe sex outside of marriage is immoral? Yeah. Do I believe it is the position of government to essentially force morality? No. So I'm going to sit on the fence too.
Again, that's the thing. That's what it doesn't. The question we're inferring so much from some of these questions, and that's not what it asks.
Yeah.
I mean, so I just parts of this quiz just kind of give me AIDS.
So far, I'm going to give a quick aside.
Sex outside of marriage can give you AIDS too.
It can. It can.
Intravenous drug use is more likely to do it, though.
That's very true.
I was joking.
Sorry. Anyway, brief aside here. Are you so far more satisfied than the traditional political compass test? Or do you want to wait to see the results?
Let's wait to see the results.
Let's wait to see the results. I've taken ones I like better.
Okay.
I have taken ones I like worse too.
Okay.
Yeah, that I like less. So.
Not the best, not the worst.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm going to go neutral on sure.
All right, next.
It's a very Dorfian answer.
If it's this chair, man, I swear.
No, you better not say anything to Sean ever again.
If we accept migrants at all, it is important that they assimilate into our culture.
I think it's best for the nation a lot of times if they chose to go to that place to attempt to somewhat assimilate. And by assimilate, I mean not change completely, but work their way in. I'm going to say disagree on this because I just don't see the enforcement. Truthfully, it's none of anybody's business. So I think it might be better for them. It might be better for the immigrants to try to assimilate to some degree.
Okay,
but I'll disagree.
Adam,
strongly disagree.
Get a 1-sentence answer. Why?
You know what? I thought what Josh said is fine. I agreed with it for the very most part. If we're talking slam dunks, though, that's my slam dunk.
Okay. I'm gonna, believe it or not, I'm gonna paraphrase Vladimir Putin here. If you are accepting,
probably not the best way to start out your explanation.
If you were he said something to the effect of Russia doesn't need migrants need Russia. I have a very, very
it's true,
literal, I would call it a literal interpretation of what immigration should be. You are going to be a net positive to the state you're entering, and if you're not, then they have no business or no reason to take you. And what comes along and what incentive it maximizes that goodness for the country who's accepting the immigrant is assimilation. Is to blend rate, is to fold right in.
So you're pitting neutral?
No, I'm going to actually say strongly agree here.
Hey, people in Russia must like Putin. He keeps winning elections.
Yeah, right. And it
so we shouldn't criticize it.
It all comes down to
that's what they want.
Democracy. Woot woot.
And here's the thing: I'm not going to actually. I'm going to amend that. I'm just going to go agree because I'm not okay with. If you look back at my answers about preserving culture, you can't forget what you came from, but at the same time, don't expect everybody else to like and or accept your practices that are foreign to the nation you're going to. And they don't necessarily have to be. They don't have to accept that. They don't have to tolerate it.
I agree with you.
If you don't like it, you can get out.
A couple questions down the line here. Kim Jong-un said something that's going to be
yes. I'm sorry. I'm not going to call anybody a dotard. That's about all I can think of anything that he's ever said.
Yeah, I don't speak Korean, thank God.
He went to China today.
Yeah, and that heavily armored train. World War I called, they want their tech back. Next, abortion should be prohibited in most or all cases.
People have accused me of this being an unlibertarian viewpoint. But as I stated, I am a libertarian and not an anarchist. I think abortion is killing a person. I believe murder should be illegal, so I strongly agree with this statement. I don't think abortion is killing a fetus. I think it's killing a person. And with our modern technology and the way all you have to do is look at an ultrasound, and that's a person in there. I oppose killing people, so I strongly agree with this statement.
Okay, Adam.
Strongly disagree.
Okay. You don't have to if you don't want to.
You know, like I said, we are almost at
Okay,
time.
all right. I'm gonna strongly agree here as well. The ultimate goal of a state is to, a republic state is to protect the rights of the citizenry and otherwise stay out. Unfortunately, I believe, like you as well, Josh, that's a human being that you're terminating, and you're violating its rights by terminating it. I don't like the unfortunate circumstances where pregnancy is forced on people. It fucking sucks. But at the same time, God, man, I hate this. I hate this question because of this. There's too much nuance for just a answer like this.
You know what? Too?
I hate the idea that you should be forced to carry something that was forced upon you, because that it is also inherently a violation of your rights as well.
Well, it does say in most cases. So this does still leave it open for the rape, incest, and to save the life of the mother idea.
All right, I'm just going to go agree then.
I will say this too about my answers, that I'm not answering. I'm not going into detail about a lot of them, just because I feel like that's what the rest of not this show but future shows is going to be about.
Sure, fair enough. We do have plenty of opportunity here in the future to flush all this out.
We will absolutely talk about this stuff later. So good point, Adam.
Okay. Question 61. Gun ownership should be prohibited for all those without a valid reason.
Strongly disagree. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Okay. Adam.
Gun ownership should be prohibited from... disagree.
Okay. I'm going to go strongly disagree here as well.
What did you say, Adam? I'm sorry.
Disagree.
Strongly disagree. It is the ultimate show of respect for the individual to grant them the right and the ability to fight back, and to codify that as being important. There's a very, very, very good reason the United States has been as stable as it has been, and has been actively marching towards the best interest of the governed for a long time. It's far from perfect. It was not perfect for its entire existence. We can get into how slavery is immoral and why it wasn't taken care of on another day, much earlier than it was. But gun ownership is ultimately about protecting you and yours, whether that's from the robber or the tyranny of the government. And for that reason, and that reason alone, it is highly, highly important. So I disagree with this statement. Next, I support single-payer universal health care.
I already answered this one. I already said that I was against theft and against slavery. So I disagree.
Okay. Adam.
Strongly agree.
I'm going to go disagree here as well. I'm not going to go strongly disagree here. I'm not willing to codify healthcare as one of those fully guaranteed universal human rights, because I'm uncomfortable with the fact that in order to make that happen, you have to take away the rights of others, such as doctors, to have to perform stuff for cheap, free, or otherwise. I'm not okay with that. Insurance, I know this isn't the question. Insurance should not be, or single payer or paying for things should not. Insurance is a financial protection vehicle. It is not healthcare. Do not get those things confused. Universal health care, I'm not just fully on board with it, saying it's a 100% awful idea, but I'm not okay with the practical realities of how it would be implemented.
And when it's universal, it is no longer insurance. The minute insurance becomes compulsory, it ceases being insurance and becomes a tax.
Bingo. Next, 63. Prostitution should be illegal.
Libertarian anarchist Josh is going to throw you guys for a little bit of a loop on this one. Not strongly by any means, but I actually agree with this statement that prostitution should be illegal. I wish that prostitution was hugely decriminalized. To me, a just fine or a just punishment for prostitution, for whether it be the John or the prostitute, is I don't know, $75 ticket. You know, I definitely want it decriminalized almost completely, but I think it should be illegal. And my reason being, as a father of 2 daughters, if the government condones and legalizes something, then you are telling the young women of your culture that that is a just and decent possibility for employment. I do not want to live in a place that tells that to our young women. So I actually agree with this statement.
Okay, Adam.
Strongly disagree.
Okay. I'm going to sit on the fence here. Josh, I think you're 100% right about the cultural angle. And the ultimate reality of the situation, prostitution is often a predatory relationship.
Yeah.
The ultimate reality of the thing is people may enter prostitution voluntarily. However, once you're in, it's practically impossible to get out.
Right. And the idea of the pimp is another part of prostitution, which should be illegal.
And unfortunately, you in fantasy land, you could say, oh, pimps would be illegal and prostitution would then be fine. That's not how it's going to work.
No, it isn't. And biologically, 99% of the time, it's going to be a man paying a woman. I know that male prostitutes exist. Well, I should say at least 99% of the time, the John is going to be a man.
Sure.
Sometimes they could be paying for another man too. So,
yeah.
So I don't want to say 1% of the prostitutes are women, but the vast majority are going to be women, and the vast, vast, vast majority of the Johns are going to be men. So this is something that hurts one gender far more than the other.
Sure. And why I'm going to sit on the fence is because ultimately I still think you're, at the age of majority, you're an adult, you're responsible for yourself. And if you make a decision to make this your employment or engage in this sort of activity, then live with the consequences. So, but at the same time, I'm not comfortable with the practical realities of legalizing it. So, next, maintaining family values is essential.
I believe that we live in a world where many people in the government want to raise our children for us. That is something that I cannot tolerate, so I strongly agree with this statement.
Hey, Adam.
Strongly disagree.
Okay. And you got a one sentence for me?
Nope.
Okay.
My one sentence is we are at 10 o'clock.
Okay. It all depends to me how you define family values. I'm going to go agree, kind of Josh's perspective, but I'm not going to go slam dunk on this one. 65, to chase progress at all costs is dangerous.
Yeah, strongly agree. Too loaded of a statement.
Okay, Adam.
Disagree.
Got anything? Nope. You're all about that clock. I'm gonna go strongly agree here. Say anywhere communism has ever been tried. Genetic modification is a force for good, even on humans.
Disagree. I don't even really know what.
Is it the uncertainty that scares you?
The uncertainty is more than enough to put me in the disagree category, but I pose it for other reasons as well.
Okay.
Wait a second. You agree? You said you're agreeing with that.
No, disagree. Genetic modifications is a force for good, even on humans. I disagree with that.
It sounded like your statement, though. You agree with it.
No, I don't want humans to be genetically modified.
Okay. I'm gonna put agree. Sorry.
I'm gonna sit on the fence here. The even on humans is what kills it for me. Otherwise, I would say agree. The unfortunate reality of, you would love to say genetic modification. If you were at 100% in certainty, you could select for the things you were selecting for without any consequences, short or long term, fine. But genetics ain't that certain. It's pretty fucking random. So for that reason alone, I'm going to say neutral. But genetic modification in food, selective breeding, gene splicing or otherwise, is a net positive, great force for good.
Do we have a... Man, I should have got like a button or something like that, like a buzzer.
Get a...
Should be a drinking game,
You're
too.
gonna have to get a buzzer every time Adam sits on the Dorf sits on the fence.
We'll have to
get you a sounder for you every time it's the ultimate libertarian position, and every time I call you a commie, we get you another one.
Yeah, you should put that for those who don't listen live. We should put that in the
drinking game
out there. If you want
everybody's
to make this a
dead by
game.
15 minutes in from Dorf.
Josh, bust that skinny.
Anytime Josh says liberty, anytime somebody calls Adam a communist, or anytime Dorf goes neutral. Oh, God, you'd be hammered, though.
And you're going to have to watch this episode in 7 parts because you're going to pass out.
Oh, you might die from alcohol poisoning.
That, too.
All right, 67. We should open our borders to immigration.
I'm going to go first. Strongly agree.
Okay.
Bring us your tired, your poor, your old masses. Agree.
I'm going to be the dick here. Back to what I said, previous statements. We are doing you a favor, not the other way around. If you were a net positive, absolutely. Net positive that we need.
Dorf's all about the wall. And
it doesn't say
from
unbridled or uninhibited immigration. It just said immigration.
I'm on open our borders. That to me says no border enforcement. That's what that means to me.
Say open borders completely though, right?
But that's what it means to me.
I agree with you, Josh.
So I'm going to say
disagree. I don't for open borders.
Disagree, but I'm not going to give it the slam dunk and the strong disagree category. All right. 68. Government should be as concerned about foreign citizens as they are about those within their borders.
Strongly disagree. I mean, to me, that's a righteous statement. This isn't true for anyone.
Righteous altruism.
It would be impossible to do this. You couldn't possibly do that. So I strongly disagree. It doesn't mean that you could never care about a foreign nation in peril or individuals in peril. But this is, to me, this is trying to sugarcoat it and make yourself look great to say anything but disagree because it's impossible.
Sure, Adam.
Let's see, government. Go ahead, Dorf. I gotta put the.
You gotta think about it.
Yeah.
Nope. They should only be worried about those who they have the consent to govern. But I'm not going to go the slam dunk here because you're right. You know what? If you are in a position to make the altruistic decision without adverse negative effects on your own populace, fine. But to say that you have some obligation regardless of the consequences, nope, not okay with that.
This is a weird question because it's not clear exactly which way they're going with it. Are they saying the government should be as concerned about foreign citizens in other countries as being a threat?
Yes, in other countries. Definitely.
It's not being a threat. Should you be as concerned or should you be concerned at all? No, as concerned.
Should you be as concerned with the person starving in Ethiopia as the person starving in Detroit?
Okay.
I mean, basically, to me is...
Yeah, that's a very good way of summing it up.
All right. See, because I could kind of see this question.
I know what you mean.
It's okay to join me on the fence here.
I'm not. I'm going to press agree.
Okay. Join me on the fence. Question 69. All people, regardless of factors like culture or sexuality... Whoa. All people, regardless of factors like culture or sexuality, should be treated equally.
Okay, I feel like this question should read all citizens, and then I would say strongly agree. But because it's saying all people, that tends to mean that you could mean, the Nazi culture that is trying to invade trying to invade your ally overseas.
Or
so I'm going to agree with this statement, but I'm not going to strongly agree because to me this should say all citizens
Sure.
Or even
the government
even,
should treat all people.
Yeah,
equally.
or that it should just say even all people within your borders. Even I could go for it, but it doesn't say that. So I agree though. Still,
Okay, Adam.
I'm gonna play. What's this question or what's this quiz actually asking? So I'll put strongly agree.
Okay. This would be a slam dunk for me if it included the phrase all people should be treated by the government, regardless of factors like cultural sexuality, should be treated equally. Just governments treat all citizens. You can even make the argument all who are currently within your borders without prejudice. However, to ask individuals to hold the same behavior at a personal level denies their ability to be human. Mm-hmm. And for that reason alone, I'm going to sit on the fence.
Well, and to paraphrase John Adams, when they said, John Adams basically said, all men are created equal. He said, well, that's ludicrous. No, they're not. All men should be treated equally under the law. But, I mean, of course all men are created equal. Look at this room. How come I'm 5'5" then? I'm not. I wasn't created equal. You guys are all regular size. I'm tiny. Why? Because we were created equal? Doesn't look like it. I mean, that's it's just not true. But it's true under the guise of a liberty-loving government.
Josh's statement from earlier. I'm the average size of an American woman.
Female, yeah, I am.
Average height.
Yep.
All right. Last question. It is important that we further my group's goals above all others.
Disagree.
Strongly disagree.
I'm going to go disagree. Well, I'm going to... God damn it. I'm going to fence it. Depends
I'm
on what you
telling
mean by...
Yours is going to come back not enough.
It depends on what you mean by my group. And without a concrete definition of what my group means, I can't pick one side or the other.
Uh-oh, it just goes right to your results.
All right. So, I want to walk through it. So, the 8 values is...
Are we going to read off our own results here?
Yes, we are. You have the economic axis, the diplomatic axis, the civil axis, and the societal axis. We're going to go start with the economic. The left pole is equality. The right pole is markets. And they are represented by percentages. So we're going to start with... I'll lead it off.
Well, Dorf, how about you start with, why don't you guess as to which person...
Where you guys end up on this continuum?
Or something along those lines, and then ask that person first or something.
Okay. I'm going to guess...
Yeah, I know by that you'll have to pick which side you're doing.
I'm going to say, something. Josh, you are about... I'm going to go 85% market... 15% equality.
I was 76.2% markets, 23.8% equality.
Okay, and Adam, I'm going to say 65% equality, 35% market.
You are way off.
What? Really?
80. You should have used your
should have just inversed it?
You should have used your...
Inverted it, rather?
No, you should have used your numbers with Josh on me. I am 86% equality, 14% markets, economic access, socialist.
Oh yeah, I'm listed as economic access capitalist.
Okay. What do you guys think I did?
I'm guessing your markets.
You know what?
I'm gonna go 78%.
I'm gonna go same numbers as mine, but inversed.
So 85-15?
86-14 or whatever, if you want to say.
Yeah, okay. I am 67% market, 33% equality.
Okay, do you know what problem
market
I have with
is
this
my
one?
qualification.
I do not see market and equality as opposing sides. I truly don't. I know that's a topic for some other time, but I don't.
Depends on what you mean by equality, because the modern definition of quality is equity. Mm-hmm. Equal equity. It's not or equal outcome. It doesn't mean equal opportunity.
Yeah.
In the modern vernacular, unfortunately, that's
fine.
what it's been morphed into.
I'm just more about equality than Josh is, and that's
fucking commie.
Hey, listen, I have no problem.
Fucking commie.
If
everyone take a drink.
So what was your economic access qualified as?
76-20. Oh, I was a capitalist.
What was yours?
Socialist.
Okay, I'm market. God damn it, sitting on the damn fence again.
Yeah, you are on the fence.
Yeah, market.
See, I wouldn't have a problem if someone said I was 95% pro-capitalism. I wouldn't have a problem with that. But I don't want to be 5% pro-equality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't necessarily see
Well,
that
I mean, if you look at, he's pretty on the other extreme of the spectrum, so socialist / communist is probably the other pole.
Yeah, and I know the problem I'm having is with the terminology they chose, but that doesn't mean they're necessarily wrong.
Okay, so next one, we're going to go diplomatic axis. Josh, your turn to pick who you think you're going to lead off.
Okay, I am thinking that Adam is going to be about 65%. Okay, nation and world are the two opposing axes.
World on the right, nation on the left.
Correct. I'm going to say world. Adam was 70% world, and I'm going to say that Dorf was 65% nation.
Pretty close for me. I am 70-30 nation over world.
Okay.
You're actually pretty close on me as well. I am 77.7% world, 22.3% nation.
So you were listed as patriotic, correct?
Correct.
Dorf, and what was your label?
Internationalist.
Okay.
So it's globalist cucks versus nationalists.
Right. I was listed as patriotic as well. I'm pretty much right where you're at on this, Dorf. I'm 69.1% nation.
Yeah, I'm 70.2. I'm kind of rounding the numbers off. 70.2. We're pretty damn close.
And to me, I would probably define myself more like 90-10.
Okay.
I really would, but with that, but hey, the test is the test, you know.
Okay. So next axis is the civil axis, on the left being liberty, and on the right being authority. Adam, your turn to guess.
Josh, I'm going to go with 80% liberty. Dorf, I am going to go with 60% liberty.
Okay. I am almost a 50-50 split. I am 48.8 liberty, 51.2 authority. I am right steadily on the fence.
Adam, I would have guessed for me similar to what you guessed, but, and this is like my least favorite thing to be classified as, I am right with Dorf. I'm considered a moderate. I'm 52.7% liberty, 47.3% authority. I don't see that.
Attaboy, fence sitting moderate. Yeah. Woo!
I guess
I don't feel like that's how I answered them, but yeah, I don't think I'm a liberty or I'm a moderate on the civil axis. But hey, that's how I answered. So what do you got, Adam?
What do you got?
I guess Justin Amash and Rand Paul are gonna love me. I am 82.3% libertarian, 17.7% authority. Well, my civil axis is libertarian. I'm 82.3% liberty, 17.7% authority.
Wow.
What did they classify you as? What was the
civil axis is libertarian?
Libertarian. Okay.
I've got to go. I'm gonna go get my permed hair and go get beat up by my neighbor.
It's not quite as bad as is it Jason Chaffetz from Nebraska, the one that's got the curly hair too?
He's not from Nebraska. I think he's from Utah.
Damn, I guess I gotta.
Yeah.
Is it, whoever the guy is from Nebraska got the poodle curl too?
I think I know what you're talking about. It's not Jason. It's not.
I guess I gotta stop running the dollar store hair gel through my hair. I guess I'm not the libertarian I thought I was.
You're gonna have to go back home and self-flagellate to the altar of Ron Paul.
Right? No kidding, man. I mean, one of these.
That's gonna be a great.
One of these labels was libertarian, and I didn't get it. I'm
disappointed in yourself.
I'm disappointed in myself.
Hey, maybe you should run for president as a libertarian because it.
Because for sure. I know I'm certainly more libertarian than Gary Johnson. That is for sure.
All right, I will finish this up. So the societal axis, on the left, we have tradition. On the right, we have progress. I'm going to go with Adam. I'm thinking you're 80% progress. And Josh, I think you're going to end up right in the middle. I'm going to call it 50-50 toss-up.
No, actually, I am considered traditional. I'm 66.8% tradition, 33.2% progress.
What about you, Adam?
I will say this is by far the biggest ratio here.
Okay.
For me.
Probably for anybody.
I am 94.7% progress.
God damn.
And yeah, I'm not even. Well, do the math. I'm not even listed. It doesn't even give me a percent for.
You are a populist progressive's dream.
So what does that call you as?
Societal access here is a revolutionary.
Oh man, revolutionary commie. Josh, what's yours called?
Traditional.
Okay, I am. You guys want to guess what I am?
Moderate.
Yeah. Well, it calls it neutral in this case.
Neutral. Okay, neutral. I'm guessing you're 54% tradition.
Word of the day for you.
58% tradition, 42 progress. So, closest match on the 8 values test. Josh, what's yours?
Okay, I actually
don't preface it. Just say it.
I don't hate this label. I don't like it, but I don't hate it either. Closest match: moderate conservatism. Ideological matching is a work in progress, is much less accurate. Oh, I thought that was going to be a definition. My bad. Okay, no, moderate conservatism is the one they gave me.
Adam, what about you? Revolutionary communist?
What you got, Adam? They just said you're Stalin? You're Joseph Stalin.
No.
Lenin's bro.
No. Not at all.
No?
Che Guevara.
I am going to make Josh jealous here in a certain sense. I am a libertarian socialism.
Huh.
I would argue that there's inherent contradictions in that statement that can't possibly exist.
Yeah, I would too.
I guess I am living proof.
That is a modern thing, though. That is a modern thing. There are a lot of socialists within the libertarian ranks of late. We traditional libertarians...
I just think they haven't thought about their political philosophy enough.
We traditional libertarians actually refer to those people as LOL libertarians. But it is a thing.
That's fine. Say what you want.
My label is neoliberalism. Also, which you could also call classical liberalism, a leaf off the Milton Friedman tree.
Barf.
Right on. Although neoliberalism should be not the same as classic liberalism. I mean, that's like kind of in some ways the opposite.
Oh,
okay. I don't know.
But yeah,
definition of those things change constantly.
Oh,
so.
they do. They certainly do. They certainly do. So what was yours again? Yours was
neoliberalism.
That's definitely better than being a neoconservative because that's got a bad vibe to it. The neocons. I don't even know what that means.
No, I just hear it. It just sounds bad.
Yeah, I just hear it.
Neoliberalism, also known as the fence post firmly up my ass.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was the test.
You're the flagpole sitta, man. I'm gonna place a little Harvey Danger for you.
I think I do prefer the ones that give you the grid. I like the.
Where are we on the grid, Josh? You have it.
Yeah.
So
if it was a 20 by 20 grid and you have 10, each square is 10 by 10, where would you put yourself based on this label? Where do you think you're at?
Based on this label, I think I'm probably in the just barely into the upper right quadrant, which is not where I would normally put myself. Put myself pretty firmly into the lower right quadrant, the libertarian area. But according to this, I'm kind of maybe barely over the.
See, I think based off this, I would put you a little bit below the.
Yeah, you're below the X, but you're about halfway to the right.
Yeah, I would agree with that. According to this, normally I would probably.
That's about where I would think I would normally put myself, but this is I'm probably right on the X, slightly to the left of center on the Y.
Yeah.
Or C, yeah. No, I have it backwards. Slightly to the left on the X-axis, pretty much straight down the middle on the Y.
Yeah, Adam, I think you're kind of like chilling
you're
right around the
Y-axis,
left. But
what was it?
I would think Adam, according to this, would be kind of right around the Y-axis, but definitely on the left.
I would be.
He'd be
down.
Lower left.
I'd be lower left.
Yeah, you're right. I guess you would.
And that's actually where I would put you anyway, just knowing you.
Yeah, I mean, because
I'd place you a little higher. I think you definitely have some pushing populist views anyway. I mean, your climate change alone, I think, would keeps you out of the. But hey, that works.
All right, guys.
Josh is trying to ruin my
the way I always.
He's jealous because I got the libertarian label here.
I am. I'm super jealous. I'm not even hiding it. I'm cray jelly, yo.
All right, that is gonna wrap this up, guys.
Oh, we're done?
Yes, hour and 56 minutes
Hold on,
in.
I gotta get the.
Well, I still have some stuff to do.
Oh, okay.
I gotta plug and do all this other stuff. So relax.
Yeah,
relax.
Okay. It's all right.
Wherever you're watching us now, do we have Facebook pages for this show yet, or just we're just gonna leave it under the Empire Show, Empire Media?
We're not going to do a separate Facebook page.
Okay, so let us know on either Twitter at the Empire X Media, right? Or the Empire Media.
Empire X Media.
Empire X Media, or Empire Media on Facebook. Where you end up on this test, I know it's long and cumbersome. If you're taking it by yourself, it probably won't take you 2 hours. We promise.
Definitely won't.
Let us know where you end up here. Whether what you were assigned met your preconceived notions here. We're interested to find out where kind of the audience lies, and kind of give your feedback on this test.
Aaron did get back to me on that.
Mm-hmm.
He came out as a democratic socialist.
I believe it. He's a commie.
Is this Aaron that I know?
Aaron Eggemeyer.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I think I've spoken to Aaron once or twice.
He Major's contributor. Aaron Eggemeyer.
Anyway, that's going to wrap this up. Our next episode, I believe, we're going to do in 2 weeks. So not next Tuesday, but the following Tuesday, and we swear we'll try to be on closer to 8 p.m. Eastern. And we will not be going this long because normally, right after this show, is the X-Cast with these two clowns, and I step out. So, but that was canceled tonight.
And 2 weeks from today, when we're doing that will actually be Deep Issues that night, and we will be covering the Kennedy conspiracies.
I'm gonna get out of that crazy basket.
Hey, stick around. You might learn something.
I'll listen to it on the replay. And fast forward through all the crazy parts. Thanks for joining us, guys. This has been the Politics of the Empire, presented by the Empire Media. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you all next time.